Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another video. We have boosted chances for summoning champions during this next CVC, which includes personal rewards. If you're looking for one of these champions, then it's your time to summon because it's the best chances to get them. Not the best chances to get a legendary though, and there's no events going together with the Esme fusion. So if you're somebody who's looking to complete this fusion, the fragment collection for her, please don't summon now because it's going to be a difficult fusion if you do so and you don't have enough shards. We're going to go over the champions. I'll show you all the champions right now, and then we'll cover them for the video. I'm not going to, if you're somebody who just want to see the champions, it's going to be right this image, boom, for you. So it's Arashi the Riptide, brand new champion, Duchess Lilitu, Highkeeper Prisma, Glayclad, Tatura, and then Yumiko, Little Miss Annie, and Vlad from Voids. And then on Wednesday, this changes up to Necmo, Staltis, Eostrid, Gwendolyn, Morrigan, Chalco, which is brand new champion, and Shuzen and Krisk. So very quick, I would say numbering in terms of priority for Tuesday summons. I would say Arashi and Duchess Lilitu go to the 1 and 2 slot. Duchess being the MVP, I would say, in terms of overall usefulness. If you don't have Duchess already, she can be used in so many areas of the game. Arashi is a brand new damage dealer. I'll cover him in just a second once we finish this. Prisma, I would say, is not in the top 3. Glayclad is in the top 3. Tatura Ironhide is number 4 and Prisma is number 5 for me personally in terms of normal shards. And then for Void, it all depends on which champions you're looking for. But Yumiko is number 1, I would say, for a reset cooldown champion. Little Miss Annie is great for heal reduction and just being a straight up damage dealer. And then Vlad the Nightborn, again, works very well if you also have Constantine. So those two go very, very well together. But Yumiko is number 1, Little Miss Annie number 2, Vlad number 3 for me. Then we go on for Wednesday. So is Wednesday going to be better? Yeah, Necmo Thar, definitely number 1 on the list here. For summons, Necmo works so well for the new Chimera clan boss. So if you're somebody struggling in there, Necmo is going to be the one that you want to be summoning for. Staltis works so well for Dragon and then for Arena. Eostrid for Hydra, and then just overall as being a great support. So Necmo, Eostrid, Stalthos is my top 3. Then Gwendolyn and Morrigan go, I would say Morrigan number 4, Gwendolyn number 5, because Gwendolyn is very specific on where you can use Gwendolyn, and Morrigan can be used, especially in this rotation, for Amius. So yeah, definitely Necmo would be the one I would go for if I didn't have him. Then Chalco, Shuzen, and Krisk. Okay, these are really strong champions, all of them, Chalco being the brand new one. Then Shuzen and Krisk, I would say it all depends on what you want to be using them for. Shuzen can be used for PvP stuff, and then Krisk for everything else. Literally everything else PvE wise, you can use Krisk, and he's fantastic. So I just want to go over and cover these brand new champions, these 2 new champions, Arashi and Chalco, just because they're just brand new. Everything else has been in the game for quite a while now, and there's nothing new on these champions. I did mention Necmo. You can go and have a look on him on the index. Fantastic champion. Same thing as Stalthus, works so well for the Dragon. Then for Duchess Lilitu, she's been in the game for, I would say, at least 3 years now, and she hasn't really dropped in value. Maybe a little bit so for the new Chimera, but she still can be using the new Chimera because she does have a block debuffs and a big AoE revive, plus the damage reduction that she provides against bosses. So these are the combos of champions that are just so good. Yumiko is fantastic for everywhere. And then every other champion here has some uses, but because it's a 15x progressive, there really is not much choice on what you want to be doing for. You'll only be able to choose one champion to summon out of these and have those boosted chances. You can't be switching around the chances for them, unfortunately. So there we go. Arashi the Riptide, brand new Shadowkin, legendary HP based damage dealer. Let's have a look at his skill set and if he's worth the summons as I thought so for him. Let me move. There we go. Move myself over to the left side and let's have a look. A1 double hitting that has also a chance to steal 1 random buff, and this effect cannot be resisted if the champion is under a Veil or a Perfect Veil. That's going to be the theme of this champion, by the way. It's Veil and Perfect Veil working so well for him. Not only giving him damage reduction from AoE attacks, but also like unresistible steal of buffs looks so good. A2, single target, ignores defense as well as shield and strengthen. And will also ignore Stone Skin if this champion is under a veil or perfect veil. So this becomes fantastic for single target, just dropping a champion that has a stone skin on. It just screams PvP for me. If this attack kills an enemy, increase the duration of all buffs on this champion by 1 turn. So it's a way to keep your perfect veil for 1 more round, and also any other buffs that you might have available. So already looks good. Ignores defense, plus strengthen. Oh, so good. The shields. Sometimes you won't see so many shields in this game with this PvP meta that we have at the moment. So attacks all enemies before attacking, places a perfect veil and a 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. So this is where you'll be getting your perfect veil buff and increased crit damage if you don't have a champion to do that already. So he'll get these 2 buffs, then just do his big AoE attack. And the AoE attack is single target, which also ignores 15% of the first enemy's defense. After hitting the first enemy, will hit every other enemy. Following the initial hit, each subsequent hit ignores 5% more of the target's defense. So this one, I'm not sure on how the targeting is going to work, if it's in order of champions. So if it's in the order of champions, or if it's in the order of your selected champion that you click on once you use this AoE attack. I believe it's going to be the order of champions, but it's still a very strong ignore defense skill that has a very long cooldown of 4 turns when fully booked, which for each enemy killed by this attack increases the champion's HP by 5%, stacks up to 30%. So this is very unique for PvP. Doesn't work so well for PvE stuff, right? Unless you'll be killing stuff. But I mean, for me, this looks like a strictly PvP champion with all of his kit. HP based, very high HP base that he looks to have here. And then he's got a passive where at the start of each round places a perfect veil buff on the champion for 1 turn. So that's where you'll get your perfect veil to start out. And then a 20% chance to reflect all damage and debuffs this champion receives back to the attacker. That is pretty cool. All champions and debuffs, just a straight up 20% chance. Passively, that's huge. And then an active effect of if the reflected damage kills an enemy, fills the champion's turn meter by 30% and places the perfect veil. So I think this is going to be very difficult to completely kill an enemy by this. But maybe attackers, if you build this guy with like 100,000 health and you reflect all damage back, it's a 20% chance, but you reflect all damage back, you get hit by something that's 80,000. Usually champions hit for more, but let's say you get hit by that and you reflect it, you're probably going to kill the enemy attacker, right? Even if it's like 50,000, you're going to kill him for them most of the time. But this is like a huge champion for just passively doing damage on enemies. But this is an active effect. It only does this once to give you the turn meter fill and perfect veil, but also the chance to reflect cannot be, it's not something that you can depend on, but it still looks like a very strong thing to have as an overall passive way of just dealing damage to enemies. It's 20% chance, but when it happens, it's gonna hurt them. And very high base HP. He should be hitting hard, and he should be like a cool PvP champion. That's why I want to test him out. It's not like that he's gonna be worth it, I would say, to go out of your way to summon him, because he is spirit. So you'll have a bad time against magic champions. So there's the weak hits that might be coming through. I don't like that, but that's how it is. It's not just void champions in this game, right? And then the other champion that is brand new, guys, is the new, I believe it's a demon spawn, right? Chalco the Blind. Looks very cool, but I don't know about this guy. I've seen his kit already. It looks very interesting. He has a double hitting A2, will ignore defense and an additional 5% defense for each debuff on the target. So say 5 debuffs, that's another 25%. Also steals 10% of the target's turn meter. That is very nice. Very nice. Each hit will steal the turn meter. And then a 50% chance of repeating this attack against another target, except the initial target who is under 2 or more debuffs, occurs once per attack. So you won't be able to do this unlimited times, but it's still a very strong chance, 50% chance to do this, ignore of the defense. This can work so well for the Hydra, just dealing damage with your A1, but can also work for PvP because ignoring defense is just huge. And then attacks one enemy 2 times. First hit places block passives and then a decreased defense. debuff spread on the second hit, taking all debuffs and then placing them on all enemies. The debuff spread effect will work even if the initial target is killed. So the debuff spread is going to be huge. You get an extra turn if you kill the enemy, but the debuff spread is huge because you take all debuffs. It's not just these two. So if the enemy has 10 debuffs, you can spread them out to all enemies. This is a very strong skill on its own, and the block passives can work so well for PvP. I can see this guy being used in a pinpoint set and let's say a savage set or a not fatal set, lethal set. Just so you avoid the sheep, but this is so cool. This is so cool. Attacks all enemies before attacking, places a 50% increase in accuracy, and then decrease the duration of all enemy buffs by 2 turns and place a 30% decreased speed debuff on all enemies. So unfortunately, he doesn't have a way to have these as unresistible debuffs, but the increased accuracy is nice for the next part. The attack is going to happen though, and then you'll get, no, actually you'll get the increased accuracy. Okay. The decrease of enemy buffs will happen after the attack. So if they have stone skin on, you'll attack the stone skin and then decrease the duration. It's from what I understand from his kit. So it doesn't look that strong, but still is very strong for the buffs, for reducing the duration of enemy buffs. And then this champion, look at this, is immune to stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear, true fear, and petrification. Everything except sheep he's immune to. Whenever an enemy attempts to place any of these debuffs, instantly activates Inducer of Panic skill against the enemy. Doesn't set Inducer of Panic skill on cooldown. So Inducer of Pacifist is A2, which basically forces him to use his block passive skills and decrease defense again, and then debuff spread it. So you're gonna be forcing this. So this is insane in terms of having such a skill against enemies. And does Taras place the fear on, I can't remember if he places fear on demon spawn. So he'll be placing fear on him, and then this guy will be going in immediately to attack with this block passive skills, decrease defense, and then debuff spread. So he is basically built against Taras. He'll be attacking Taras with this immediately, and then debuff spreading it if you can debuff spread it. This looks like a dangerous combo to have. So increases damage dealt by 5% for each debuff placed by this champion or an ally. The damage increase resets each time a skill is used on this champion's turn. Okay, so if you're debuffing generally, he'll be able to get like a huge damage boost and then do his damage. And this is just a passive, no cooldown. This guy looks so strong. I can't wait to test him out on the test server. See if I can find some Taras against me and see how he works against that. If he's really the champion to be killing Taras. But yeah, it looks like that's how he's going to be working very well. This will also work very well for the Hydra against the Head of Torment. You'll be receiving the fear debuff. And then once that happens, he'll be instantly activating the this double hitting attack. This double hitting attack. I wonder though how often he'll be able to do this on, I guess, the Head of Torment. I'm imagining he'll be able to do it at least once. And then he also has an increased ally accuracy in all battles by 70, which is cool. Damage dealt is based on his attack. He's got a good base attack and nothing too insane. Speed is at 99, which is okay. Not slow, but not fast either. This guy is the one I would summon for if I had an insane amount of void and I just wanted a brand new void damage dealer. Overall, looks like a cool champion. This is the summoning news, guys, for this next CVC, Tuesday and Wednesday. Doesn't do anything for the Esme Fusion, so keep that in mind. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. See ya.